G'day guys, welcome back to another episode, Friday four-wheel drive stuff. Today we're going to talk about these Narva Spotlights and our Narva LED light bar that's up on the roof. So stay tuned, it's going to be a good one. So we've worked closely with Narva for quite a while now. These are the Ultima 215s. We've actually had these for over a year. They've been probably the best spotlights I've ever put on a four-wheel drive. The reason they're so good is just the power they put out, the distance and the spread. They do it all. Can't complain. They are such an awesome light. They look good. We've obviously put them onto this new car from our old car. So we had to do all the wiring and everything, put a switch in the new car, and then also they sent us an LED light bar, which is awesome. We had a few issues with how we should mount it. We're going to quickly go through them as well. I got some information here on the lights just so we can understand how good they actually are. These are the 9-inch ones, so they're a bit bigger than the smaller ones. Obviously. I feel like they suit the ARB bull bars really well. Lumens that they put out is 21,780 raw and 15,410 effective. It's IP rating of 67, operating temperature of -40 up to 65. Hopefully we don't have to go into that. So the one lux at 1,093 meters, so over a K with two of the lamps. And with the protectors, which you can see on here, which have been scratched up over the years but have kept the lights. If I actually take this off, you can actually see how clean the light is. You can see how scratched up that is, and then how in great condition the actual lamp is. So these are really good covers to have. They also have black covers that come with it when you're not using them for a while in the city or whatever, so you don't want to accidentally blind someone. So they're really good lights. They come with heaps of mounting points, and they're really easy to wire up. Narva send you all the wiring harnesses and everything. Quite plug and play these days, but there's a few things to know when you've got a newer car. We ran into a couple of issues when swapping them over to the new car. Oh, another thing is they're really easy to adjust. We have no problems with adjusting them or up and down how we want to use them. So coming around here to the wiring, it's slightly different to how I wired them up before in my old car, and it might look a little bit messy here, but that's because we've got two sets of lights now where I wanted to keep all the wires in one area. A little bit of a bird's nest, but trust me, it makes sense. So if you look down here, we've got two relays, two Narva relays and two fuses. So these fuses and relays, I've actually just put them on a little bracket here, a little L bracket, just to keep it all in one place. So I know all our Narva stuff, all our good quality stuff is in one spot. I know which relay goes with which light, which fuse goes with which light. So it's all real simple, and I can follow the two main positives up and underneath the battery cover here. The Narva stuff, you actually get piggybacks for the high beams, which is really handy because there's no splicing into wires and whatever. With these light bars and spotlights, they come with the old style, which is still majority of the cars these days, which is the piggyback that goes into the back of the globe or the lamp into your car driving light. Because I have the 2023 Mazda, if you can see that grey one there, the bit of a beefy grey one, that is because they've changed the connectors. So we actually went onto the website, bought some connectors, some splitters that suit our car. That way we were able to easily do this without having to cut wires and everything. So a couple of extra bucks there, but the fact that it's all plug and play makes it so much more simple. Now we've got quite a few things. I've just had to cut a few wires to join everything up neatly. Just used a few cable ties there to keep it all out of the way. It all runs down here through the firewall and into the cab. Now, then on the front here, they run down into the cavity. With these new cars, there's actually quite a large cavity under here, but it's all covered up by the ARB bull bar. There's also quite a big cavity in here, which you can easily run wires. Now, you might be able to see, we've put a few in here and then cable tied them all down out of the way of any moving parts. Try to keep it away from any air intake or any cooling, and we've kind of bunched them up there, cable tied any loose wires or any excess wire out of the way. On the back of these lights, it's simply a plug, which is really handy. You can see down there, it's just a Deutsch plug. That way you can install your lights without it being plugged in, adjust them straight, then plug it in. It makes the steps way easier. The same thing with these brackets is you can mount the brackets, put all your bolts in easily with these ARB bull bars. You can just put them straight under like that, hold them. I've actually put 3 bolts in each just to, make it secure. So I mounted the brackets first, put the lights in, and then tightened everything up, adjusted it here with the leveling, which is good to go, wired it in and plugged it in. So that was really simple. One little thing that I did, and it became a little bit more fiddly, was you'll see here on the driving lights. So with high beam off, you'll still see this lights up. So it's just I guess a driving light. It's a good safety feature to have. It means as you're driving around the city or on country roads, you've got your normal LED driving lights, but you'll also have your spotties producing a little bit more light where other drivers can see you easily, which is really handy. That is where we ran into a couple of little issues because it just comes with a wire. Essentially, it's just the end of a wire and it says plug this into where, you know, a light position. So what I had to do was I had to take that off and just access this light here. ARB wired that light in for me, so it was real easy. I found that wire, I cut it, and then I spliced into it, attached the wire that came in the wiring harness for this, and then I was good to go. So that was really the only like little complicated fiddly bit I had to do. Apart from that, it was pretty straightforward, which is handy because having a new car, you want to keep everything clean, you want to keep everything simple. I was glad that there was only a small part of fiddling around. So initially, after we got the light bar from Narva, we thought, where are we going to put it? It's not really a good spot on here to put a light bar as well as spotties. We love the look of 2 round spotties on the bull bar, so that wasn't really going to be an option of changing these. We did consider, you know, what you could do here, but this is all like a winch bar, so you can't really move or install anything into the grill. We didn't want to stop any airflow into the radiator and whatnot, so it wasn't really a question of putting anything on the front or underneath, and didn't really want to drill any extra holes into the bull bar. I did buy some bull bar mounts and temporarily had it sitting here and thought, can we have it sitting above there? One, I'm pretty sure in most states that's illegal, and 2, it just looked really funny. Having it sit pretty much just there was just really weird. It looked too busy and complicated there. So I thought, where else can I put it? Came to the conclusion that I'm going to put it back on the roof. So this is it up here. It's only a 24-1, so it might look a little bit funny being up on the roof. To be honest, it creates really good light. It's nice and discreet, it's compact, it's got a cover on here so there's no risk of blinding anyone when we might accidentally use the spotties, and it just sits up really well. I used the bull bar mounts, mount it onto that bar there, and then I just extended the wiring to get it all the way back to the cab. The only thing I had to change was that I had to drill a hole in the bracket here, which is just hardened plastic anyway, just to get that plug in there. Again, it's a Deutsch plug, it's real simple. It was just plug and play. The harnesses were pretty much exactly the same on the light bar as it is on the Spotlights. So this is the light bar without the cover on it. As you can see, it looks really nice. It's really bright. A brand new product from Narva just towards the end of last year. It looks really nice sitting up here, and it's also got, which lights up with your driving lights. So same as the spotties. It just lights up nice and bright there, so it's a nice little white light. Again, it's not overly necessary, but it comes with it, so I thought I'd wire it up. I wired it up in the exact same spot down in the front left-hand corner with the under the ARB bull bar, so it was pretty simple. It was all, again, the same time as I did the spotty stuff. I like the look of it. More lights, the better. Now, running the wiring into the car was pretty simple. There's one grommet in the firewall on the passenger side, which we've used for the UHF and a few other things. Was pretty much just use that again. I got under the passenger footwell, pulled that all in, wired that all in, and decided to put both the light bar and the spotlight on one switch, only because I didn't want to fill the car with pointless switches, which I've done previously in other vehicles. Wired that all into one switch in here, so I can have the light bars and the spotlights off 100%. Then if I want them on, press the button and they can come on only with the high beam. Now the problem was with having a new car, it's always a bit weird which switches to buy, what switches to buy, where to get your switches from, because the dimensions change a little bit with each car. So I thought, I did a little bit of research and found that Steady actually sell them for the best price. I grabbed a Steady switch, which is a push switch. It's got a little spotlight. So it's just push in, push out. It lights up when you've got your spotties on, and it's real simple, it's real basic. I didn't want to go overboard with too many switches, like I said. So look, they are very bright lights. The 2 front ones are really good, and we got around Australia with just them up until this point. Narva wanted to send us the light bar. We obviously didn't want to say no. It looks awesome. It's even brighter. So we're really just gonna keep that cover on it until we're doing long distance outback driving. No reason for us to have that light bar being used in the cities or in built up areas. So really it's just those spotties that we use. The light bar is just an extra thing for making sure we don't hit any kangaroos. So thanks for watching. That was just a little update on how we did our 2 spotlights and our light bar on top, and what they are and how we wired it, and the simple switch we put in. Real basic, real simple. Every Friday we're going to do a 4-wheel drive video, so make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss, and the bell. Turn the bell on. All right, see ya.